Hi, I'm Orion. Now, it has been a while since I played Counter-Strike properly, and as I'm getting back into things, I thought I'd talk to you about why I quit CS in the first place. First of all, management of certain things. So, as some of you might have known, I played in university tournaments a couple of years back. It's now been a year since I stopped doing that. And yeah. So what happened was I take myself pretty seriously at times. And you know, not everyone loves that. Not everyone loves me doing that. And I, you know, make of it what you will. And so I was running a CSGO Twitter for uni CSGO. And in the second split of me running that, a team in the university decided to sign up using a name that I personally wouldn't have approved if I had to okay it. I don't know if people tend to okay things in other universities, but at my university for CS, each team were allowed to sort of pick their own team name, but they just took the piss. And they weren't talking to me, they weren't wanting to like liaise with me on anything. They just shut me out, and I'll admit I was a bit of a control freak, but they basically said nothing, and I was trying to add people into the team, and I had to say to some people, look, I'm sorry, I have been screwed over by people. And because I'd been screwed over, I went onto that Twitter account and I tweeted one word. I tweeted goodbye. And when I did that, basically the head of the esports society said, yeah, get gone. Pretty much. I tried to explain, my struggles and what I'd basically been put through. But yeah, people just weren't liaising with me. People weren't wanting to hear me out. And they didn't want to hear me out. So they basically said, hand over everything, including the Google account that I made for that Twitter account. They made me hand over everything. Bear in mind, I am an esports student, and for me, that Twitter account was experience. It could have potentially put me up there in terms of having social media experience. And they took that away. So I was left being screwed over by everyone, and I just had to take it. So already my motivation to play any games was, done. Now, as well as that, they said, hey, you can continue, just not in this position. But because I'd basically been thrown under the bus by everyone, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to bother. Fuck this. So, after that, as you guys all know, I did that relaunch week, and I mentioned that I was going to play in an onelastyear team for a second time. And that team, yeah, was a disaster. It was partially my fault. I was basically exhausted all the time when people were wanting to play. And yeah, I didn't exactly get the best reputation. So yeah. At that point, I just hated the game. I just hated everything to do with it. So when I did play it, I was constantly like trying to make jokes as much as I could just to get through the games. Yeah, I wasn't enjoying any of it. I think for me, competitive Counter-Strike in like leagues, I don't handle them well, because 9 times out of 10, for me, it's a blowout. Yes, I know I should have been playing more. That's true. But yeah, I had very little motivation, and when I did play, when I was getting my ass handed to me, it was like, why do I bother? Because of all that, well, one of the players basically got outed for SA. If you know, you know. And well, that was well after things fell apart, but that left me, I did not want to play with them. I wanted nothing to do with them, naturally. And so I felt kind of left on my own. And I kind of made the decision to just quit Counter-Strike. I wasn't enjoying it. It just wasn't fun. And I'm the kind of person, if I don't find things fun, I just don't want to do it. Fun is motivation for me, for what it's worth. So if I don't have that, I just give up. 'Cause what's the point? So yeah, that is why I quit Counter-Strike. That felt like quite the speech. That's almost 10 minutes, I think. But yeah. So I've been Orion, signing out. Well, lastly, I do have to say, I have somewhat regained the motivation, but it is slim, because I've played very little Counter-Strike lately. I am pretty worried. I mean, at some point, I am going to have to face the staff of the organization that's running the league, which is fun. But yeah, I've been Orion, signing out.